there's this explanation na dahil nga daw sa laki ng utang natin, which keeps growing, dapat daw gamitin na lang tong ganitong klaseng fund to propel development projects. Pwede pa yun? It's a sovereign wealth fund, diba? Ganun ba function? I cannot understand that explanation. Pero yun yung sinasabi ng iba na para daw mabawasan yung pangungutang natin, ito na lang ang gamitin to finance certain projects.
You know what, Ami, you're absolutely right. And that is the mandate of the Land Bank. And they're supposed to support the agricultural industry. That's the mandate of the DBP who's supposed to support industry. So if the funds are channeled to what the bank's mandate truly is, a bigger chunk, no? Then that will have a bigger cascade and a bigger long-term effect, I believe. So it's already built in the system. Why reinvent the wheel and have all these redundancies? Even worse, why rush it? Why are we rushing it in 1 week?
In a similar vein lang, President Duterte borrowed nearly more than 6 trillion in 6 years, more than the 5 presidents' loans before him. So ang siguro ang posisyon dapat ni President Marcos is saan ito napunta? Kasi hindi naman ito build. How many projects lang? Parang 19 out of 112 projects na nagawa. Ang COVID response was at least 570 billion. Hindi umabot ng 1 trillion. So where did the 6 trillion go? Baka naman may pera dito na pwede nating magamit instead of going to the taxpayers through budget, through all these sources of funds. Kesa sa pahirapan natin ang taong bayan, hanapin muna I'm still demanding na unless the government can account for the 6 to 7 trillion na inutang in the last 6 years, they have no right at all to get these funds from the people, whether it's GSIS, SSS, or even Land Bank. I mean, I'm a depositor in Land Bank. I don't want my deposits to be wasted in an investment, di ba? So, all these things boil to one thing. Mukhang hindi nila iniisip ang kapakanan ng taong bayan despite their statements that they're doing this for the people.
Okay, JC, before we go to break.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that in some examples, for example, Norway, where their sovereign wealth fund is actually as large as $1 trillion. Kung ganun kalaki yung sovereign fund mo, you can use that very well to finance public works and all that. And pero the problem
we could afford to lose $174 billion.
yeah. And in fact, each Norwegian actually, parang meron silang 13 million pesos na hati dun sa kanilang sovereign wealth fund. Ganun kalaki siya. Pero in this case, parang to begin with, wala tayong surplus. And yun nga, parang if you want to finance public works, there are other ways of doing that. For example, public-private partnerships.
But that's what I'm saying. They're saying that it's no less than the president who's chairing this. And that's supposed to give us a level of confidence that if the president himself is putting his name on the line for this must work.
Yeah. Actually, Luchi, if you...
They will appoint yun ang to allay your fears. You will appoint a technocrat as manager. Ngayon, sabi ni Senator Coco Pimentel kagabi, ang technocrat na yan, napakalaki ng kikitain niya. Kasi in banking practices, you have to pay a management fee daw of up to 2%. Ang sabi niya sa banking circles is 0.5% of the total amount of the fund. Yun ang pupunta sa manager's fee. Kasi wala naman daw.
Magkano yun? Sa 275.
So, well, a narrow elite will be happy, that's for sure. You know.
Sorry.
Siguro, I'll just say na if you add, for example, yung ill-gotten wealth of the Marcoses that the PCGG is still going after, 125 billion pesos. And then the estate taxes of the Marcoses that still haven't been paid, about 203 billion pesos. That amounts to 328 billion pesos, a lot larger than the seed fund of the Maharlika fund that they're proposing. Pero going back to Luchi's earlier question about timing, I just wanted to say na the closest thing na siguro pwede natin makapagkuhanan ng pera for a sovereign wealth fund would be Malampaya back in the 2000s. So if we had just implemented a sovereign wealth fund in the 2000s, siguro ang laki ng perang sa ngayon. Pero yun nga actually by 2027, we're facing an energy crisis in Luzon dahil paubos na yung Malampaya natural gas reserves. At ito nasa dying end na tayo ng Malampaya. So wala tayong makuha, hindi na natin siya magamit as a resource for a sovereign wealth fund.
Pero test na lang, will a sovereign wealth fund work? Anong mga requirements? Kung sakasakali, best practices. Kasi
Within our
kahit-
lifetime, within our lifetime ba yan?
Yung Norway, nawala ng pera this year.
South Korea, nawala din ng pera.
Singapore. Pero anong mga requirements kung sakasakali? Kasi sabi ng House ngayon they're working on mga 7 yata or 8 provisions just to reassure everyone na magiging well-managed siya, no corruption. Ano yung mga requirements?
At least, for me, at least two basic things. Number one, you have to have a huge budget surplus. Hanap ka muna ng sobrang pera bago ka mag-invest in something na ipupusta mo or igagamble mo in investments globally. Pero sa ngayon, wala tayong ganung klaseng surpluses to speak of. In fact, may deficit tayo na 6.5% based on the latest statistics that the President himself said he wants to bring down to 3% by the end of his term. Pero how can you do that kung ipupusta mo pa itong malaking pondo na ito? And then I think the second would be good governance. I think you have to earn the trust of people before you come up with this type of proposal. Just to add one more thing, ang nakakatawa, for example, in the case of Norway, meron silang ganung klaseng sovereign wealth fund to pay for pensions of their people. Pero tayo, we use the pensions of the people to
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. Of course, binawi na, pero in the first place, it should not have been proposed at all.
I'll add to what you mentioned. Also, a functioning sovereign justice system. It's a third requirement, apart from the surplus
Yeah.
and what you said, good governance.